The waiter had just refilled our wine glasses when Sarah's smile faltered. She set down her fork, took a breath, and said the words that stopped my heart. "There's something I need to tell you. I have a child." My throat tightened. The candlelight between us suddenly felt too bright, too exposing. I watched her brace herself, her shoulders tensing as if preparing for impact, and in that moment, I saw every fear she'd been carrying all evening written across her beautiful face. She was waiting for me to make an excuse, check my watch, suddenly remember somewhere else I needed to be. I'd seen that look before, that mixture of hope and resignation that comes from being rejected one too many times. What she didn't know was that I had the exact same secret sitting heavy on my tongue. 3 weeks earlier, my sister Jennifer had practically shoved her phone in my face at a family barbecue. "She's perfect for you, Mark," she'd insisted, showing me Sarah's dating profile. "She's kind, she loves hiking, she works with kids, come on, you need to get back out there." It's been 2 years. 2 years since my wife Emily died. 2 years of being both mom and dad to our 6-year-old daughter, Lily. 2 years of microwave dinners, princess band-aids, and crying alone in the shower where Lily couldn't hear me. 2 years of well-meaning friends setting me up on dates that went nowhere because the moment I mentioned I was a widower with a young child, I could see the light die in their eyes. The mental calculation they'd make, is this man worth the complication? I'd almost said no to Jennifer. Almost. But something about Sarah's smile in that profile picture made me think maybe, just maybe, it was time to try again. So I'd agreed to the blind date, told myself I'd mention Lily right away, be upfront about my situation. No surprises. No false pretenses. Except the date had been magical from the first moment. Sarah was even more radiant in person, with laugh lines that deepened when she talked about her work as a speech therapist. She had this way of tilting her head when she listened, really listened, that made me feel seen for the first time in forever. We'd talked about everything, our shared love of terrible action movies, her disastrous attempt at learning guitar, my equally disastrous attempt at baking sourdough bread during the pandemic. The conversation flowed like we'd known each other for years. And like a coward, I'd kept putting off mentioning Lily. Just a few more minutes of this normalcy, I'd told myself. Just a little longer before I watched another potential relationship crumble before it even began. Now here was Sarah, being braver than I'd been all night, laying her truth on the table. Her hands were trembling slightly as she reached for her wine glass. "A daughter," she continued, her voice quieter now. "Emma. She's 5. I know that's a lot for a first date confession, but I've learned it's better to be honest up front than to waste anyone's time." She laughed, but it was hollow, painful. Most guys aren't interested in an instant family package deal. Something cracked open in my chest. Here we were, two people armored in the same fear, carrying the same wounds. "How old did you say?" I asked softly. 5. She just started kindergarten. Sarah was studying her plate now, unable to meet my eyes. "Look, I understand if this changes things. I won't be offended if you." "Lily just turned 6 last month," I said. Sarah's head snapped up. "What? My daughter? Lily? She's 6. The words tumbled out faster now, 2 years of pent-up explanation pouring out. "Her mom, my wife Emily, died in a car accident when Lily was 4. It's been just the two of us ever since. I was going to tell you tonight, I swear I was, but the evening was going so well and I'm so tired of watching people's faces change when they find out I'm a single dad, when they realize I come with this whole complicated life attached, and I just wanted a few more minutes of feeling like a regular guy on a regular date before." I stopped. Sarah was crying. Not sad tears, I realized. Something else. Relief, maybe. Or recognition. She reached across the table and grabbed my hand, laughing and crying at the same time. "We're idiots," she said. "We're both complete idiots." I started laughing too, and suddenly we were two middle-aged parents in a fancy restaurant, giggling like teenagers while other diners shot us curious looks. When we finally caught our breath, Sarah's hand was still in mine. "So," she said, wiping her eyes with her free hand. "Want to start over? Hi, I'm Sarah, I'm a speech therapist, and I'm a single mom to the most amazing 5-year-old on the planet who currently believes she's a mermaid and insists on taking a bath at least 3 times a day." "Hi Sarah," I replied, warmth spreading through my chest. "I'm Mark, I'm an accountant, and I'm a single dad to a 6-year-old who's convinced that vegetables are poisonous and that she can communicate with squirrels. We talked for 3 more hours. The restaurant staff was clearly waiting for us to leave, but we couldn't stop. Sarah told me about Emma's father, who'd left when she was pregnant, couldn't handle the responsibility. I told her about Emily, about the grief, about how Lily sometimes still set a place for her mom at dinner without saying anything. Does it ever get easier? Sarah asked. The guilt. What guilt? The guilt of wanting to be happy again, she said quietly. Of wanting something for yourself. Some days I drop Emma at my mom's and go to the grocery store alone, and I feel like I've won the lottery. Then I feel terrible for feeling that way. I squeezed her hand. Every single day. I love Lily more than life itself, but sometimes I miss being just Mark. Not Mark the widower or Mark the single dad. Just Mark. Just Mark is pretty great, Sarah said, smiling. We finally left the restaurant and walked through the parking lot slowly, neither wanting the evening to end. I walked her to her car, and we stood there in the glow of the streetlights, both knowing we'd found something rare. I want to see you again, I said. But I need to do this right. Lily comes first. She's been through so much, and I can't introduce her to someone unless I know it's serious. Emma comes first for me too, Sarah agreed. So maybe we take this slow. A few more dates, just us, before we even think about the kids meeting. Slow sounds perfect. We went on 5 more dates over the next month. Coffee dates during Lily's school hours. Dinner when my parents could babysit. A weekend hike where we talked about our hopes and fears and what we wanted for our futures. With each date, I fell harder for this woman who understood the delicate balance of single parenthood, who never made me choose between her and my daughter because she was walking the same tightrope. On our 6th date, Sarah showed me a picture of Emma, a little girl with wild curly hair and gap-toothed smile, wearing a homemade mermaid tail. She made that herself, Sarah said proudly. Well, I helped with the sewing, but the design was all her. I showed her a picture of Lily in her squirrel watching outfit, binoculars around her neck, a notebook for important observations, crouched in our backyard with intense concentration. They'd either be best friends or complete chaos together, I said. Maybe both, Sarah laughed. That night, sitting in my truck outside Sarah's apartment, I knew it was time. I want them to meet, I said. I want you to meet Lily. I want to meet Emma. I think this could be something real, Sarah. Something lasting. She kissed me then, soft and sweet and full of promise. We planned it carefully. A neutral location, the zoo. Low pressure. If the kids didn't get along, we could separate and try again another time. I was more nervous than I'd been for any first date. Lily was suspicious when I told her we were meeting, Daddy's friend and her daughter. Is she nice? Lily asked, clutching her stuffed squirrel. Very nice, I promised. And her daughter loves mermaids. Lily's eyes widened. She'd been obsessed with mermaids last year. At the zoo entrance, I saw Sarah waiting with a small girl half hidden behind her mother's legs. As we approached, Emma peeked out, and I watched my daughter and this little stranger lock eyes. Hi, Lily said shyly. I like your shoes. They have dolphins. Thanks, Emma whispered. I like your squirrel. His name is Professor Nutkins. He's a scientist. Cool. I have a mermaid named Coral. And just like that, they were off, walking ahead of us toward the penguin exhibit, chattering about their respective stuffed animals' adventures. Sarah slipped her hand in mine. Think we worried for nothing. By the monkey enclosure, I watched Lily show Emma how to spot the baby monkeys hiding in the trees. At the aquarium, Emma explained to Lily which fish mermaids would probably be friends with. They shared cotton candy, argued about whether penguins or seals were cuter, and by the end of the day, were holding hands. Can Emma come to our house? Lily asked as we walked to the parking lot. Can Lily come to ours? Emma asked simultaneously. Sarah and I looked at each other and smiled. 6 months later, our families had merged into something beautiful and chaotic and perfect. Emma taught Lily mermaid songs. Lily taught Emma squirrel facts. Sarah's famous spaghetti became a Tuesday tradition. My disaster pancakes became Saturday morning entertainment. The night I asked Sarah to marry me, both girls helped plan it. They made signs that said, "Will you be our mom too?" and pelted her with flower petals when she said yes. Standing in my backyard, Watching Sarah help both girls hang a bird feeder while they debated whether it would attract squirrel friends or bird friends, I thought about that night at the restaurant. Two broken people, afraid to be honest, afraid to hope. The bravest thing Sarah ever did wasn't just telling me she had a child. It was believing that her truth, her complications, her beautiful, messy reality could be worthy of love. And in her courage, she gave me permission to believe the same about myself. Sometimes the package deal isn't a deal-breaker. Sometimes it's exactly what you've been searching for all along. You just have to be brave enough to say it out loud, and lucky enough to find someone who answers, "Me too."